Greetings, all my lovely students. This is Mr. O'Connor with yet again another screencast tutorial, this time on U.S. Immigration Notes, number 4, the assimilation theories. And we're going to be looking at 2 assimilation theories. So let's get rocking, and we'll come back to the document that we have to do in a little bit. So we'll start here with our first notes. And as you can see, Cornell Notes number 4, Assimilation Theories. There is a video lesson that I will give you an introduction into. Yeah, so let's give it a go. Start again. Lab today after school. Bam! Okay, so your U.S. immigration notes are ready to go. I'm sure they are. Let's rock, rock, rock. Don't worry about the date. The essential question, the same. Access to American ideals. Did immigrants have it? The objective. Students will be able to compare the mixed salad and melting pot immigration models in order to examine U.S. immigration. So these are the 2 theories, and we're going to start looking into them right soon. Let's start with assimilation as a concept. I want you to notice over here that I have an image to represent assimilation. And this is Native American, an Indian. That comes as a Native American to a white school, also known as Indian school, is a big thing at the turn of the century and even in the late 19th century, in the late 1800s. Indians were going to white schools so that they could be civilized. And you can see what happens when he goes to the school. He eventually comes out looking like this, not only cleaner cut without the jewelry, with the proper jacket on, but also physically a little bit whiter, which is interesting. I'm not sure if they meant it that way, but that's the way it turned out. And this is my definition of assimilation, which is the absorption of people into the dominant culture. And that is something that we're looking at with U.S. immigration. How does that absorption happen? Does it happen? And how long does it take? So this is a melting pot. I don't want you to worry about taking notes, but this is basically a smelting refinery, an image of that, and this is where metals are melted down, and you make new metals. And this is done with a lot of they're called alloys, but a lot of steel alloys and other types of metal alloys. And this is when metal is mixed with another type of metal. Now you have to bring it to a really high temperature in order for that to happen. So that it actually, is way above boiling. It's thousands and thousands of degrees Fahrenheit in order to melt a lot of metals. An example would be copper and tin. You heat them up real, real good. Here you have copper, here you have tin, and you heat them up real, real good, and eventually you get bronze. Bronze, which is a new product. So this is the idea of the melting pot. So 2 separate elements that make a totally new product. And so melting pot assimilation would be the blending of cultures. So you would take 2 or more separate cultures that come together and they make a new culture that are taking some of the attributes of the immigrant who's coming in, but also that immigrant is getting absorbed into that main culture and taking on a lot of that culture's culture. Was that clear? Does this happen in the United States is the question. Not an easy question to answer, obviously not a yes or no, but we believe it happens in a couple different ways. So melting pot explains some of it. But overall, I don't know, maybe you could speak to that, which is what we did in class. The other model of immigration, of assimilation, is the mixed salad, which is not the same as the melting pot. In a salad, and I do not want you taking notes on this, please do not write down what's in a salad. We should know. It's really up to us. But you have all of these different ingredients that stay separate. Okay, so in a salad you can see it's all in the same bowl, like a melting pot, but the things aren't blended together, because if you did a smoothie of a salad, it'd be pretty hard to eat if you ask me, even with blue cheese dressing. So a mixed salad are separate ingredients that stay separate, and mixed salad and immigration are separate cultures that stay separate. Although they're right all around each other, they are not mashed together. They stay in their separate little areas, and we'll see examples of that, where people living and socializing with people of their own culture. You have neighborhoods, you have ghettos, and in Philly especially, you have, there's beyond Chinatown. You have like a Little Italy, West Philly. You have South Philly, which tends to be a little bit more Irish in some places, or Italian descent. So you have these people who, when they move in, they end up being attracted to people of their own culture, mostly because of language. Language is the key to having people blend or not blend. First generation people who do not speak English tend to stick with their own cultures because they can communicate with them. By the second generation, and obviously the third generation, which most of you people are, then you've already sometimes lost your native language and only speak English. So, bam. Those are the notes. Real quick, language. Don't forget language. But anyway, U.S. immigration notes number 4. That's assimilation. I'm going to take you back there for a sec. Do not forget that your Cornell notes must be 6 to 9 sentences long. They must include all of the keywords and concepts. Synthesize the information. Ask questions. Get into it. So let's come back to 3D Game Lab. So you are going to go click on this link right here. Boom, 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 boom. And I will show you what that looks like. You have a worksheet you're going to copy and rename, but you know all that stuff. You have 2 videos to watch. One is the U.S. melting pot. The video is the American melting pot. Answer these questions as you watch. And then the second one is the mixed salad. There's a video there too. They're not very long. They're just a couple minutes each. Got to get in there. Got to answer the questions. Wrestle with this stuff. Then do your summary. Then now you're done with your 4th Cornell Notes. Congratulations and welcome to the world of the living. I'll see you in the frip. Yee-haw, yee-haw, yee. Ah, hoo, hee, ha, ha.